You get a knock on the door one afternoon, and it is your neighbor, a retired mechanic named Dale, standing there with grease on his knuckles and that look on his face that men wear when they have been told something they already suspected. He says the shop downtown just quoted his wife $1,300 to fix a crack in her exhaust manifold on a 2009 Silverado with 94,000 miles on it. The service writer told him it was the only option, replacement only. Cast iron does not weld clean, he said, and any paste repair would burn off within 2 weeks. But Dale knew something was wrong with that story because his father had run a $2 fix on a cracked exhaust in 1971 and driven the truck for another 6 years. And the reason you have never heard about that fix, the reason it has been scrubbed out of every mainstream automotive guide published since 1975, has almost nothing to do with whether it works. It has everything to do with who profits when it does not exist. Exhaust manifolds crack. They crack on Ford F-150s, and they crack on Chevy Silverados, and they crack on Toyota Tacomas that have spent 15 years running through temperature swings between -20 at night and 400 degrees at the exhaust port during a hard pull on a trailer. Cast iron expands when it heats and contracts when it cools, and it does this 10 to 15 times a day, every day, for a decade. After enough cycles, the metal develops a hairline fracture near one of the ports. It ticks when cold. It smells faintly of exhaust under the hood. Your check engine light comes on because the oxygen sensor upstream of the catalytic converter is now reading false lean. And your mechanic quotes you anywhere from $1,300 to $1,600, which is the average replacement cost according to RepairPal's current data. And that does not include the broken studs he is going to find when he pulls the manifold, which will add another hour of labor at $120. That is a $1,500 problem that you did not cause through neglect. You caused it by driving normally. There is a substance sitting in the hardware aisle or on the shelf at any farm co-op in America that can seal that crack for about $2. It has been around since the Roman Empire used it to waterproof cisterns. The United States military issued it as a field repair compound for exhaust systems on Willys Jeeps and GMC CCKW deuce-and-a-half trucks during World War II, when replacement parts were rationed, and a cracked manifold in the North African desert meant a vehicle sat dead at the side of a supply road in Tunisia. The substance is sodium silicate. Old-timers call it water glass. And the reason your mechanic acted like it does not exist is not because it fails. It is because, in 15 states, using it in a way that interacts with your emission control system lands in a legal gray zone that nobody wants to explain to you because the explanation ends with you not spending $1,500 at the shop. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, I am going to walk you through the exact procedure sourced from a 1943 military field repair manual and confirmed by a retired exhaust fabricator in rural Missouri who has been doing this repair for 40 years. And I'm going to tell you exactly which states will flag this at inspection and which ones will never look twice. Let me tell you how I found out about this. I was at a swap meet in Joplin, Missouri, about 3 years ago, looking through a box of old technical manuals that a man named Wendell Pratt was selling out of the back of his pickup. Wendell had spent 31 years building custom exhaust systems and had retired to selling off his reference library. Most of it was standard stuff. But at the bottom of the box, wrapped in a piece of burlap that had been folded around it so long it had taken the shape of the manual, was a reprint of United States Army Technical Manual, Manual TM9-8000, originally published in 1943, covering automotive maintenance for military wheeled vehicles. On page 214 of that manual, in a section titled Emergency Field Repairs for Exhaust System Failures, there is a procedure for sealing cracked exhaust manifolds using what the manual calls sodium silicate solution, quote, available at any civilian supply depot or chemical storage facility. The procedure calls for cleaning the crack with a wire brush. mixing the sodium silicate with fine iron oxide powder in a ratio of 4 parts silicate to 1 part iron oxide, applying the paste with a flat tool while working it into the crack under pressure. Then, heat curing the repair by running the engine at idle for 20 minutes before a full operating temperature cycle. The manual notes that repairs made using this method on 4 GPW engines in the North African theater showed service life extensions of 2 years or more under continuous field operation. I paid Wendell $4 for that manual, and I did not sleep well that night because I had just paid a shop $800 for a cracked manifold on my own truck 2 months earlier. Now, before I explain what sodium silicate actually does inside that crack, let me explain why the shop owner who charged you $1,500 is not a villain. He is trapped in the same system you are. The liability framework around automotive repair in this country has been built in layers since the Clean Air Act was first passed in 1970 and significantly expanded in 1990. Under Section 203 of the Clean Air Act, it is a federal violation to install any part or component that could bypass, defeat, or render inoperative any element of a vehicle's emission control system. The EPA has spent the last decade aggressively enforcing this. In 2022 alone, they resolved dozens of civil enforcement cases against companies selling aftermarket exhaust components. The penalties run into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So when a shop mechanic reaches for a tube of sodium silicate paste rather than a new manifold, he is gambling that his repair will not show up as an emission control issue at a state inspection. And in 15 states, specifically California, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, Oregon, Washington, Vermont, Maine, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and Colorado, the exhaust system inspection is thorough enough that an improperly applied manifold repair that causes even a minor emission variance will fail you. Not because the paste is illegal, it is not. Sodium silicate is sold openly, it is food safe, it is used in everything from egg preservation to swimming pool sealing. But because a cracked exhaust manifold that is leaking upstream of the catalytic converter is already causing an emission control system failure, and a paste repair that does not completely eliminate that leak will fail the inspection for the same reason the crack was failing it. The shops in those 15 states learned this the hard way. Word spread, and the safer business decision became to always replace the manifold. The paste repair got associated with failure not because it fails, but because it was being applied incorrectly by mechanics who had not read the 1943 field manual. Now, let me tell you what sodium silicate actually does, because understanding the chemistry is why this repair works when every other paste fails. Sodium silicate in its liquid form is water with silicon and sodium dissolved into it. The solution looks like thin honey and has almost no structural strength at room temperature. But when you expose it to heat, specifically above 210 degrees Fahrenheit, which is well below the operating temperature of any exhaust manifold, the water molecules begin to leave the solution. The sodium and silicon that are left behind do not dry. They vitrify. They turn into glass. A glass with a remelting point above 1,400 degrees Fahrenheit, which is higher than the maximum surface temperature of any exhaust manifold on any production vehicle ever built for civilian use. The repair does not burn off. It cannot burn off. It would have to get hotter than the metal surrounding it to fail, and that temperature does not exist in your engine bay. What the 1943 field manual added, and what makes this repair significantly stronger than the commercial muffler cement sold at auto parts stores, which use a diluted version of this same chemistry without the iron oxide component, is the addition of fine iron oxide powder, sometimes sold as ferric oxide or rust red pigment, available at any welding supply or ceramic art store for a few dollars per pound. When you mix iron oxide into the sodium silicate, you get what metallurgists call a ferrosilicate matrix. The iron particles disperse through the glassy structure and give it thermal expansion properties that are much closer to the cast iron manifold surrounding it. Commercial sodium silicate paste without iron oxide expands and contracts at a slightly different rate than cast iron during temperature cycling. Over years, that difference can crack the repair. The iron oxide closes that gap. It is the same reason that cast iron has survived as an exhaust manifold material for over 100 years, despite being heavy and brittle, because its thermal behavior is predictable and self-consistent. Here is exactly how you do this repair, step by step. This is the procedure as it was documented in TM 9-8000, and as Wendell Pratt and I worked through it on the cracked manifold on an old Ford 300 inline 6 that a farmer near Neosho, Missouri had been nursing along for 2 years before we got there. You need liquid sodium silicate solution, sometimes sold as water glass, available at most hardware stores in the pool supply section or online for around $2 per quart. You also need fine iron oxide powder, available at any welding supply store. And you need a piece of stainless steel mesh, the kind used for speaker grills or small engine air filters, cut to slightly larger than the crack you are repairing. Start with a cold engine. Clean the area around the crack with a wire wheel on a drill or a hand wire brush until you have bare metal on all sides of the crack, extending at least ½ inch in every direction. Remove any rust, any old gasket material, any carbon buildup. The silicate needs clean metal to bond to. Mix your sodium silicate with the iron oxide in a small glass or metal container. The ratio is 4 parts liquid silicate to 1 part iron oxide by volume. Stir it until the iron oxide is fully distributed. The mixture will look like dark reddish brown paint. If it is too thin, let it sit for 5 minutes and stir again. It should have the consistency of house paint before you apply it. Using a flat wooden stick or a cheap paint spatula, apply a layer of the paste over the crack and the clean metal surrounding it. Work it into the crack under firm pressure. You want the paste inside the crack, not just bridging over it. Take your piece of stainless steel mesh, press it down into the wet paste over the crack, and apply a second layer of paste over the mesh, embedding it completely. The mesh reinforces the repair the way rebar reinforces concrete. Let the repair sit for 1 hour without touching it. Then, with the mesh embedded and the paste tacky but not fully set, start the engine and let it idle for 20 minutes. Do not rev it. Do not drive it. Just idle. The gentle heat from the exhaust will begin the vitrification process and drive the first stage of water out of the silicate without thermal shocking the repair. After the idle cycle, shut the engine off and let it cool completely. This takes at least an hour. Then start it again and drive it normally for about 15 minutes at moderate speed. This second heat cycle completes the vitrification. By the end of the second cycle, you have a glass-reinforced iron silicate patch over that crack that is, in practical terms, permanent. I want to tell you about a man named Ray Copeland, who ran an exhaust shop in Ava, Missouri for 38 years before he retired in 2019. I reached him through Wendell, who had known him since the 1980s. Ray had done this repair using a variation of the procedure that substituted steel wool for mesh in smaller cracks on more vehicles than he could count. He kept a ledger for the first decade and then stopped because it was taking up too much shelf space. He told me over the phone that the longest he had personally tracked a sodium silicate repair was 11 years on a 1988 GMC Sierra that a logging company ran in the Ozarks. The truck was hauling timber in conditions that would destroy a modern exhaust manifold in 3 years. The repair held until the truck was retired with over 300,000 miles because the frame had cracked, not the manifold. Ray told me something that stuck with me. He said the reason the paste repair disappeared from mainstream automotive practice was not EPA pressure, though that contributed. It was the shift to aluminum manifolds in the 1990s. When manufacturers started putting aluminum exhaust manifolds on lighter trucks and front-wheel drive cars to save weight, The sodium silicate repair stopped working on those vehicles because aluminum's thermal expansion rate is completely different from the iron oxide matrix. The repair that worked perfectly on cast iron for 50 years was suddenly failing on new vehicle designs. Shops tried it, it cracked within months, and the word spread that the technique did not work, when the truth was that it had been applied to the wrong material. Cast iron manifolds, which are still used on a significant portion of the truck and SUV market, including most half-ton pickups, full-ton trucks, and larger SUVs, are still ideal candidates for this repair. If your mechanic can tell you your manifold is cast iron, this fix is as valid in your driveway today as it was in Tunisia in 1943. So, what about those 15 states? This is the piece nobody explains clearly, and the confusion is costing people money. The sodium silicate paste repair itself is not illegal anywhere in the United States. The substance is not regulated. You can buy it at the hardware store, pour it in your driveway, and nobody cares. What is regulated is the emission outcome of your vehicle at inspection. If your cracked manifold was causing your truck to fail emissions because exhaust gas was leaking upstream of the catalytic converter, then a correctly applied paste repair that fully seals the crack will actually cause your truck to pass emissions that it was previously failing. The repair solves the emission problem. The issue arises in two specific situations. First, if the repair is applied improperly and the crack is not fully sealed, the truck will still fail emissions, and the inspector will see the paste and note a repair attempt, which in some states triggers additional scrutiny. Second, if the repair is used on an aluminum manifold, it will fail within weeks and create the same situation. Apply it correctly on a cast iron manifold, seal the crack completely, and there is nothing in any state emissions regulation that prohibits a vehicle from passing inspection because someone repaired a manifold with sodium silicate. The 15 states with strict emissions enforcement will inspect your exhaust system, and a properly repaired manifold with 0 leaks will pass those inspections. The shops in those states will not tell you this, because if they did, they would be telling you to skip the $1,600 job. If this video is saving you money, subscribe to this channel right now, not at the end, right now. There is a subscribe button on this page, and it takes 1 second, and it means you will see the next video in this series, which covers the exact same suppressed knowledge framework applied to head gasket repairs, oil consumption fixes, and transmission fluid flushes that dealerships charge $400 for when the actual procedure costs $11 and a Sunday afternoon. We are building a library of the repairs that got taken away from regular people when the service industry decided that knowledge was more valuable kept in the shop than shared in the driveway. Subscribe and you will be in that library. Now let me give you the last piece of this, the one that took me the longest to find, because it closes the loop on why this technique was so effective in the North African theater that the Army documented it in an official field manual. When Wendell and I were working through the procedure on that Ford 300 in Missouri, he mentioned offhand that the original military application added one more ingredient to the mix that most people omit, and that the omission is why some people who try this repair get 3 years out of it while others get 30 years.